Thank you very much, and Lieutenant Governor, it's nice to see you here. And want to welcome everyone, wish everyone a Happy New Year. And I enjoy listening to my colleagues, whether it's rule changes or not. And I have a tick list of things that I just want to touch on that I think are extremely important. I want to return the favor in kind. I want to say good and nice things about Senator Stewart Cousins. And when we do speak, as I've always said, she comports herself as a very fine human being, and for that alone, I should be grateful. I didn't mean it that way. I meant it in a good way. Also to Mike Gianaris, who has done a terrific job on the floor, working cordially, especially with Senator DeFrancisco, and that makes for a smooth operation of our House. So, two very bright individuals who work on behalf of getting our business done here in the New York State Senate. Neither one of them believes what I just said, but that's okay. And then I also want to tell you how much I deeply appreciate Jeff Klein. Jeff has proven to be a very valuable ally. He's a very smart colleague. And I would agree with Dave Valesky. I think the only one, I might have to say Kathy Young rivals Jeff Klein for work ethic, but we'll have it as a toss-up and just know that he always comes up with very unique ideas. And they engender and generate discussion. And a lot of times it ends up in results. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for this body, for the New York State Assembly, and most importantly, for the people of the state of New York. The gentleman was here earlier today. He was standing with his good friend and colleague, the newly elected Senator Bailey, and that is Carl Hastie. And I'm going to be so abundantly New York clear. Over the course of the latter part of the session and through the fall, and more importantly, after the election, between Election Day and New Year's, he proved to be a gentleman plus, a leader, a class act, and as Senator DeFrancisco spoke to, we didn't get done some of the things that we wanted to. But I'm going to tell you it's not for lack of trying, and I can say with the utmost clarity that Speaker Hastie acted as a gentleman and as a legislator and a leader and made it a lot easier to try and get things done. Frank Patience. Everybody loves Frank, right? Everybody loves Frank. So, Frank, I just want to wish you congratulations and say thank you for all your fantastic work. You deserve it. To our new members, I certainly welcome every one of you. We'll get to know Senator Bailey, Senator Brooks, and I'm going to have to try and learn, is it Alcantara or Alcantara? Okay, Alcantara. Bonasik's going to need a little extra help figuring that one out. But to the colleagues on our side of the aisle, I see Lane Phillips, who had a distinguished record in the local government level, fantastic family, all of whom are here today. We are delighted to have her join us. Where is Pam? Pam, okay. Pam Helbing from Canandaigua. I've been there so many times, I'm saying it properly. And she has a background that I just realized in looking at some of her bio, working with group homes, so working with people like Rob Ort and the mental health issues and things of that nature. We have people on both sides of the aisle who come to this House with a great deal of experience, which is inherently valuable. And Mr. Jacobs, a distinguished member from Western New York, great family, great philanthropy, great benevolence, just a very good person. County clerks, we all know we love our county clerks. We have the County Clerk Caucus. And last but by no means least, newly elected Senator Jim Tedisco, who served with aplomb and insanity and just undriving energy for 34 years in the New York State Assembly. And, you know, Jim, I know having served there, I know the role that gets played, and a lot of the members of our conference can attest to that as well. So to all of you, I certainly wish you the best. And this is going to take a little bit of an explanation. Senator Kennedy gave everybody a little token of candy from the western part of the state. Now, I have to explain this because I already see that Senator Serrano has put the candy in his mug. The candy came from Senator Kennedy. The mug was given to me by one of my staff, and if you look at the mug that's on your desk, to me, this is the theme I want to stress. This is one New York. It's one New York. Ken LaValle was a little annoyed because I didn't get Montauk written in on the East End there, but it's one New York, and yes, it's a big mug. It's a big mug, and everyone got a heads-up lucky penny on the inside. So we can all use good luck, and if we maintain that theme in terms of how we do our business, we will be in a very good spot. We have done a couple of things. We've proven that we can lead collectively. We've proven that we can govern. And I think we've done that in many ways that we can be very proud of. Not perfectly. I'll never suggest that it's perfectly. But reality is now the elections are over, and I'm watching everything just the way you are, not only here, but down in Washington. Everybody, including the members in this House and the new members, deserve a chance to cut their teeth, to grow, to do the public's business. And I don't care if it's in Washington or here in the great state of New York. We all need to work together. So that's going to be very important. And like I said, elections are over, so let's get about the people's business. And when I think of things that we have advocated and come to resolution through negotiation and compromise with our Democratic colleagues, a property tax cap. We've pushed for a spending cap at the state level, record investments in education, trying to do as much as humanly possible in the area of higher ed. Ken LaValle, and I was remiss in not doing this properly. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken LaValle is now starting his 41st year in the New York State Senate. He is the Dean of the Senate. And the amazing thing to me is I'm starting my 31st year, and I still feel like a rookie when I'm sitting next to him. But it's also wonderful to have back. It's wonderful to see Senator Marcellino and Senator Hannan, who both are recovering from hip surgery. So, gentlemen, it is awesome to have you back here with us today. There are so many other areas that we could touch on. People talk about infrastructure, Joe Robach's work on transportation, Betty Little's work on housing, Jim Seward's work on insurance. There are so many different aspects to the work that we do that we need to keep talking about. And I'm going to do my normal thing. Senator Stewart-Cousins, I know she'll allow me to do this. Organ donation. Let's keep talking about organ donation. Let's save lives. Let's get awareness out to the public. You can actually save somebody's life by doing that. So please, if you are not registered, make sure you register. To me, I have a passion because of a personal friend, as everybody knows, but it's something that inures to the benefit of people all across the state. So anything you can do to help in that regard would be extremely important. So now, I want to talk about human capital. Human capital. We can build buildings, we can do all kinds of different things. And I listened carefully to my colleagues, and whether it's college affordability or raise the age or things like that, what people need are jobs. They need jobs more than anything else. Senator Klein spoke to the issue of jobs. We need to do a lot more. Our tax policy, I don't think, is working. I already see people talking about raising taxes this year already, coming out of the gate. We should be talking about how we come up with a better tax policy, a better regulatory environment, a better business structure. And at this point, it ain't going to be so easy, because revenues are not where everyone wants them to be. Our personal income tax collections are down. And that means a lot of different things. That has an effect on jobs. It has an effect on our ability to make investments in different areas, whether it's veterans or the environment or things like that. So if we don't have jobs and we don't have the right environment, and I'm talking about clean water, clean air, but I'm talking about a business and regulatory environment that is more friendly than it is now, all those other issues. I think of raise the age. One of the problems with raise the age is a lot of these kids are getting in trouble because they don't have jobs. So if people had good, solid jobs, no opioid and heroin addiction, workforce development, job training, small business people like George Amador, and a lot of people similarly situated in this Senate. So we're going to stay very, very, very focused on job creation. Now, having said that, I think I want to segue and end at relatively the same time. We're going to have our priorities, and yeah, we'll battle. We'll go back and forth, but at the end of the day, we'll get the people's business done. But I really want to make this distinction, because what happens is when we get up and we start asking tough questions, some people freak out. Some people that work in Albany and work in Washington, they get all very upset about the fact that we're asking tough questions. So if the EPA is allowing dumping in Long Island Sound and we go after them, I'm not going to apologize for that, nor should anybody in this chamber. So when we talk about Startup New York, we talk about regional economic development councils, we talk about all those types of things, we have an obligation to ask hard questions. Senator Young sat through almost 100 hours of hearings last year in the budget process, and so did a lot of other people. Not quite as many. But we have a process, and if we're asking those questions, Joe Griffo has every right in the world to get up and say, there were 1,100 jobs coming to Utica, now they're not. That's not good for anybody. That's not good for Kevin Parker's district. That's not good for my district. So if people get uptight because you're acting like public servants and elected officials, get over it. Get over it. I served, I'm going to have a unique distinction. Jim Stewart and I got elected the same year. I served 16 years in the New York State Assembly, and at the end of this term, I will have the good fortune and privilege to have served 16 years here, which is pretty unique. Not a lot of people get that chance, and sure as heck, not a lot of people get the chances that I've had. So, a couple of people, there's a gentleman here, because I want to talk about public service. I asked him to come back today. I don't know where he is, but Michael Paoli retired recently as secretary to the Finance Committee. Great, great public servant. He's the type of person that deserves accolades and our praise and our friendship. And ladies and gentlemen, there are tens of thousands of people like that who work in New York State government. So let's stand up for public people. And, well, go ahead. We can stand up for Michael. We're going to recognize that now. That's it. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. He deserves a round of applause just because he had to work with Mujica for all those years. I'm sure he heard that. Okay, Robert, it's okay. And I'm also blessed because I had a surprise today. And when I watched people's families and people were getting sworn in, I had a really pleasant surprise. My mother was here, and I knew she was going to be coming. People that I work with locally came, but my sister and my niece showed up as a complete surprise not only to me, but to my mother. So we all are fortunate to have people who love us and who embrace us, and I just want to say thank you personally to my family. Okay, Article 3 of the New York State Constitution. It's very simple. Kemp Hannon, this is so short, it's perfect. The legislative power of the state is vested in the Senate and the Assembly. Not the Attorney General, not the Controller, and not the Governor. So I'm going to close on this. I work in the New York State Senate, as do all of you. And I'm going to stand up for the primacy and independence of this body. It is long overdue. On that note, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's get back to the people's business, and I'm proud to work with all of you, and I'm going to be proud to make sure that we create jobs and get the people's business done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.